Sucharita Mataji, we can start, Mataji.
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनीश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We will look at Kirtan. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतिरवनचारी यमुनतिरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतिरवनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतिरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज विहारी गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna. I welcome you all to this session. Today's morning discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much for joining to hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, especially this section of Srimad Bhagavatam where the appearance of the Lord is described. It is a wonderful section of the Srimad Bhagavatam to hear, relish, and understand. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, one who understands his birth, his advent, his pastimes, and who understands him actually goes back to him, goes back to his abode. So this understanding the Lord, understanding his appearance, his pastimes is indeed very, very glorious. This is an humble attempt to discuss from this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the Lord's appearance as Krishna in his as Krishna himself, right? So this is that section of Srimad Bhagavatam. I sincerely pray to the Supreme Lord, Srila Prabhupada, to the spiritual master and all Vaishnavas here to kind of shower some mercy on me so that I will be able to convey the message of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, as described by the Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. And today's discussion begins with Canto 10, Chapter 3, verse number 15. Verse number 15, 16, and 17 are joined together. So we will start the discussion with Canto 3, Canto 10, chapter 3, verse number 15. And so we will try to read the translation and purport first. And once we finish the translation purport, we will just then discuss on what is being presented here, right? Yeah. Would someone like to kind of read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Can you read,
Yeah.
Mataji?
Yeah. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
The Mahatattva, the total material energy, is undivided, but because of the material modes of nature, it appears to separate into earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Because of the living energy, Jiva Bhuta, these separated energies combine to make the cosmic manifestation visible. But in fact, before the creation of the cosmos, the total energy is already present. Therefore, the total material energy can never actually enters the creation. Similarly, although you are perceived by our senses because of your presence, you cannot be perceived by the senses nor experienced by the mind or words avan manasa gochara. With our senses, we can perceive some things, but not everything. For example, we can use our eyes to see, but not to taste. Consequently, you are beyond perception by the senses. Although in touch with the modes of material nature, you are unaffected by them. You are the prime factor in everything, the all pervading, undivided super soul. For you, therefore, there is no external or internal. You never entered the womb of Devaki. Rather, you existed there already. Perfect. Uh, by me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said that Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, etc., cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed, as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.38. One can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda always within oneself and outside oneself. If one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him, thus, for people in general, he is not visible. In the above mentioned verse from Bhagavad Gita, therefore, it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by the material senses. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As discussed in the seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two different energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. Yet, one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such arguments, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different government departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still, one cannot expect the king to be present in every department personally. That is a crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in this material world and the spiritual world, are resting on the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The creation takes place by the diffusion of his different energies, and as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, he is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. One may argue that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who creates the whole cosmic manifestation simply by his glance, cannot come within the womb of Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. To eradicate this argument, Vasudeva said, my dear Lord, it is not very wonderful that you appeared within the womb of Devaki, for the creation was also made in that way. You are lying in the casual ocean as Mahavishnu, and by your breathing, innumerable universes came into existence. Then you entered into each of the universes as Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Then again, you expanded yourself as Shiroda, Shiro, Shirodakasai Vishnu and entered into the heart of all living entities and entered even within the atoms. Therefore, your entrance into the womb of Devaki is understandable in the same way. You appear to have entered, but you are simultaneously all pervading. We can understand your entrance and non entrance from material temples. The total material energy remains intact even after being divided into 16 elements. The material body is nothing but a combination of the five gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Whenever there is a material body, it appears that such elements are newly created, but actually the elements are always existing outside the body. Similarly, although you appear as a child in the womb of Devaki, you are also existing outside. You are always in your abode, but still you can simultaneously expand yourself into millions of forms. One has to understand your appearance with great intelligence because the material energy is also emanating from you. You are the original source of the material energy, just as the sun is the source of the sunshine. The sunshine cannot cover the sun globe, nor can the material energy, being an emanation from you, cover you. You appear to be in the three modes of material energy, but actually, the three modes of material energy cannot cover you. This is understood by the highly intellectual philosophers. In other words, although you appear to be within the material energy, you are never covered by it. We hear from the Vedic version that the Supreme Brahman exists his effulgence and therefore everything is illuminated. We can understand from Brahma Samhita that the Brahma Jyoti or the Brahman effulgence emanates from the body of the Supreme Lord, and from the Brahman effulgence, all creation takes place. It is further stated in the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is the support of the Brahman effulgence. Originally, he is the root cause of everything, but persons who are less intelligent think that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes within this material world, he accepts material qualities. Such conclusions are not mature but are made by the less intelligent. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much, Hare Krishna. So, in this section, it the Lord has appeared in the uh, prison where Devaki and Vasudeva were present, and on seeing him, he appeared in a wonderful form, in a wonderful four-handed form with his conch shell, club, disc, and flower, and he had his helmet, right, and he had all the ornaments. This was the wonderful form that the Lord appeared. And on seeing this wonderful form of the Lord, first Vasudev actually says few things to the Lord, followed by Mother Devaki. So here it is people take human birth, they take birth in various species according to their past deeds. And this birth is very, very different from the appearance of the Lord. Very, very different. So here Vasudev is actually kind of describing how the Supreme Lord is very, very different, or the appearance of the Lord itself is very, very different from any other birth of a normal being, right? And how the Supreme Lord is very different from other conditioned beings, very different from the conditioned beings. So it is not that uh, it is actually not very easy to understand the appearance, the pastimes of the Lord. It is very, very difficult to understand, but with the help of acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, and wonderful acharyas in the Brahmamadhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, we are able to understand this appearance of the Lord. And Vasudev is saying specifically that the Lord was always there. The Lord was always there, and only it is time that some of the material elements come get manifested, right? So there is something which repeatedly Srila Prabhupada mentions, that is manifest and unmanifest, right? So the Lord is always there. The Lord is always there, and the spiritual energy is always there. The material aspects also, they manifest at certain time. Manifest in the sense that they are visible or they appear at certain time, right? And to understand this, as I said, is not possible with our senses, with our gross senses, right? So there, in this connection, I recollect one story. There was one story which is very popular, wherein they say there were few blind people, and these blind people actually touched an elephant, and based on where they are touching, they are actually describing the elephant in different ways. None of them actually comes to the conclusion that it is an elephant, because they are blind, they don't have the sense of seeing. Similarly, our senses are imperfect to actually understand or see or know everything completely, right? So it is not possible to perceive or understand with our senses, and the Supreme Lord cannot be understood with these imperfect senses, and he cannot also be experienced with mind and words, unless it is the spiritual knowledge that actually comes in the disciplic succession, which helps us to understand the divine appearance of the Supreme Lord, right? So and everything comes from the Supreme Lord, even the material creation, the modes of the material nature, everything comes. But what we have to understand is, while everything comes from the Supreme Lord does not get affected by any of this, right? He is not at all affected or anyway disturbed by all of this. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a wonderful example, or an analogy of the sun and the sunshine. So when we see the sunshine, we understand the sunshine comes from the sun. The source here is the sun, but the sunshine is does not affect the sun in any way. The sunshine cannot affect the sun. Similarly, whatever might come out of the Supreme Lord, because he is the source of everything, it does not affect the Supreme Lord. It does not affect the Supreme Lord. And and also it is said that it is not that the Supreme Lord, two different versions are mentioned here. One is that it is not that the Supreme Lord entered the womb of Devaki. He was always there, because the Supreme Lord is there always everywhere, right? So that is one version. The other kind of understanding of this is that how the Lord enters the material creation, right? How from his form as Mahavishnu, then as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, he enters, and then also he enters as Shirodakashayi Vishnu into every living being, right? So he enters into those universes. So that is something specially which is mentioned here in the purport, wherein that the Supreme Lord is lying in the causal ocean as Mahavishnu, and just as he breathes, innumerable universes are created, and he enters each of the universes as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and then he again expands himself into Shirodak Shai Vishnu and enters the heart of all living entities. So he is present within all of us as Shirodak Shai Vishnu. Similarly, his entering the womb of Mother Devaki can be understood, right? How he expands. The Lord is present everywhere, always, and he is capable of expanding into millions of forms. So he is in that way, he expanded and he is actually present in the womb of Mother Devaki. So this is an understanding as to how the Lord is in the womb of Mother Devaki. Very very different from whatever we see in this material world, and very very different from what our senses or what our understanding can take us to, right? So but Srila Prabhupada has wonderfully explained, right, how we can understand the presence of the Lord in the womb of Mother Devaki. And and also later on we can see that um, it is actually, it requires a lot of intelligence, right, to understand um, these aspects of the Supreme Lord. And especially it is to understand the form of the Lord, it is to understand his effulgence, right, the Brahma Jyoti, and how it is like the Lord has a personal form. He's not the Brahma Jyoti only. He's not the Brahma Jyoti only. And the Lord is actually having inconceivable energies. These energies again are internal energy, external energy, marginal energy, and these energies uh, are also something which are very very difficult to understand, right? So how the internal energy or the spiritual energy works, how the external energy or the inferior energy, what commonly we understand as Maya, how does it work, and the marginal energy which is somewhere in between these two, uh, which includes living beings like us, and how this marginal energy is like can be more towards the spiritual energy, or it can be to the inferior material energy based on the level of consciousness. So it is these energies of the Lord which again are very difficult to understand or perceive. Okay, so it all that we have to from this section, these verses, and this purport especially, all that we have to understand is the appearance of the Lord is not easily understood just by senses, by just our imagination and thinking. And the Lord, though his source of everything emanates from him, we cannot think that he is affected by any of this modes of nature or the material energy, right? So these are the key takeaways from these two verses, these three verses, 15, 16, and 17. We'll now continue to the 18th verse. Can someone please read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna, can I read?
Please, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Then translation His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
One who considers his visible body, which is a product of three modes of nature, to be independent of the soul, is unaware of the basis of existence, and therefore he is a rascal. Those who are learned have rejected this conclusion because one can understand through full discussion that with no basis in soul, the visual body and senses would be insubstantial. Nonetheless, although his conclusion has been rejected, a foolish person considers it a reality. Purport. Without the basic principle of soul, the body cannot be produced. So-called scientists So-called scientists have tried in many ways to produce a living body in their chemical laboratories, but no one has been able to do it because unless the spirit soul is present, a body cannot be prepared from the material elements. Since scientists are not enamored of theories about the chemical composition of the body, we have challenged many scientists to make even a small egg. The chemicals in the eggs can be found very easily. There is a white substance and yellow substance covered by a shell, and the modern scientists should very easily be able to duplicate all this. But even if they were to prepare such an egg and put it in an incubator, this man-made chemical egg would not produce a chicken. The soul must be added because there is no question of the chemicals combination for life. Those who think that life can exist without the soul have therefore been described here as Abuddha, foolish rascals. Again, there are those who reject the body regarding it as insubstantial. They are same category of fools. One can either reject the body nor accept it as substantial. The substance is a superstarity of Godhead, and both the body and the soul are energies of the Supreme Godhead, as described by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 7.45. Bhumir apo anilo vayukam mano buddhir evacha ahankara idiyam me binna prakritir ashtada अपरेयम इतस्त्व अन्यं प्रकृतिं विधि मे परम जीवभूतं महाबाहो ययेदं धारयते जगत्. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm not sure. Prabhuji, I cannot hear you.
Hare Krishna. 1 minute, Mataji.
No problem,
There
Prabhuji.
is some.
I was just
I,
no problem, Prabhuji. Yeah.
I cannot see the screen, Mataji. It is showing sharing the screen.
Oh, okay. Very good, Prabhuji.
Can you share the screen, Mataji?
Is it better, Prabhuji? Can you see now?
No, it is showing Sucharita. Now I can see. Yes, thank you. The body, therefore, has a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shall I continue?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Just as the soul does. Since both of them are energies, neither of them is false, because they come from reality. One who does not know the secret of life is described as Abuddha. According to the Vedic injunctions, Aitat Aitadatmyam idam sarvam kam idam Brahma. Everything is the Supreme Brahman. Therefore, both the body and the soul are Brahman, since matter and spirit emanate from the Brahman. Not knowing the conclusions of the Vedas, some people accept the material nature as substance, and others accept the spirit soul as substance. But actually, Brahman is the substance. Brahman is the cause of all causes. The ingredients and immediate cause of this manifested material world are Brahman, and we cannot make the ingredients of this world independent of the Brahman. Furthermore, since the ingredients and the immediate cause of this material manifestation are Brahman, both of them are truth, Satya. There is no validity to the expression Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The world is not false. Jnanists reject this world, and foolish persons accept this world as reality. And in this way, they are misguided. Although the body is not as important as the soul, we cannot say that it is false. If the body is temporary, and the only foolish, materialistic persons who do not have the full knowledge of the soul regard the temporary body as the reality and engage in inheriting this body. Both of these pitfalls, rejection of the body as false and acceptance of the body as all in all, can be avoided when one is fully situated in Krishna consciousness. If we regard this, if we regard this world as false, we fall into the category of asuras, who say that this world is unreal, with no foundation and no God in control. Asatyam apratishtam te jagat ahur anishwaram. As described in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this is the conclusion of demons. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So this is an interesting kind of discussion. So many times we say in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that there is soul exists, and there is something beyond just the body that we see, which is what we see, what we perceive again from the senses, right? So not that anyone should tell or it, anything should be told that way, but there is soul beyond that is what Bhagavad Gita tries to establish, and that is also emphasized in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is very strongly kind of speaking through this verse, and is kind of saying that it is foolishness, it is sheer foolishness to think that body is everything. And it's like anyone who rejects the existence of soul and just thinks body is everything is actually foolish, right? And it is but it also goes to say that there are people who think like that, right? So it's not if we see a lot of people today who say that it's like one life, we have to kind of enjoy this life, they are clearly identifying this themselves only with the body, right? So because soul has no death, and then it's not just one life, right? So it goes it is eternal, soul is eternal, but the body is temporary. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that it's a very interesting thing that if body was everything and there was nothing beyond the body, assuming for a moment, right, for all the arguments that are there in this world, and for all the people who said that there is no soul, right? So assuming that just it is only the body, so lot of scientific research can be done, and also even if from the shastras, if we see, the body is made of five gross elements. Just taking these five gross elements, no scientist was ever able to create a body, right? They were not able to create a living being, because there is something beyond the body, which is the spirit soul, which actually defines the living being. And Srila Prabhupada gives a very wonderful analogy in the purport, wherein he actually describes making a simple egg, right? So scientists, there is research, everything they have done numerous research. They know what is the composition of the egg, how it looks like, there's yellow white part, the shell, everything is known in that sense. But if it was only those elements, and if it was nothing beyond that, then it would have been very easy to duplicate, right? Which has never been done. So anyone who lives in this conception that we are just the body, not the soul, is actually ignorant, right? So that is it is ignorance. And Srila Prabhupada also says there are another section of people who just concentrate on the soul. They don't understand the existence of a being is also to some extent on the bodily platform, though it is temporary. uh, it is only soul wise existence is not a correct understanding. So anyone who thinks themselves only as soul is also not understood it properly, is not understood it properly. So we have to see it as a combination of body and soul, and uh, understand that body is temporary. Again, coming from what was said in Bhagavad Gita, we can perceive the body as temporary, like a piece of clothing. And once we kind of change the clothing, the soul kind of changes the body, right? But existence of the soul independent of the body is not something which should be accepted, right? And where does it all come from? Where does it all come from is actually from the Brahman. So that is actually the kind of cause of all causes, right? This uh, and the material manifestation is coming from the Brahman. And but in spite of that, a lot of people kind of consider this as kind of treat the material manifestation as unreal and false. See, there are two understandings. One is that the material manifestation is temporary. That is the right understanding, right? It is temporary. We understand there is a process of creation, and then there is a period of maintenance, and after that there is annihilation, and then again creation. So it is temporary. It is not going to last like that eternally or like unlimited, right? It becomes unmanifest. It is not that it is not there, it becomes unmanifest or not visible, right? So it is in that sense temporary. But the argument that some of the philosophers bring in, saying that it is false, it is unreal, it is not there, or it is fake, right? So that is a very wrong understanding. It is not false, it is just that it is there for a limited period before it becomes unmanifest, and then again it gets, the creation takes place, it becomes manifest, we can see it. So it's a temporary in nature, but it's not that it is fake or unreal, right? Fake or unreal is something that we use to describe something which is not there, right? So suddenly I kind of give a smile, right? I'm not willing to smile, it's a fake smile, the smile is not there, right? But on the other hand, if I smile for some time and I just stop smiling, right? So the smile is temporary, it's there for some time, it's not there. But it's not that I'm smiling, it's a fake smile, and I'm trying to smile without actually feeling like to smile, right? So that is fake. It's not fake, it is temporary, it is there just for a duration. So that is what we have to understand. So there is difference between fake and temporary, unreal and temporary. The material creation that we see is actually temporary, it's not fake or unreal. And anyone who comes with this conception that the body is false, and or they say that there is no soul, the material creation is false. So all these things, anyone who has these conceptions have to be, Srila Prabhupada says very strongly, is the perception that the demons have. It is the perception uh, that the demons have. It is not what we should have as someone who understand or who follow the scriptures, who follow the acharyas. So this is not a perception that we should have. Okay, we will move on to text 19. Can someone please read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pushkala Mataji, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam.
Can I read it?
Please, Mataji.
Translation. O my Lord, learned Vedic scholars conclude that the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the entire cosmic manifestation are performed by you, who are free from endeavor, unaffected by the modes of material nature and changes in your spiritual situation. There are no contradictions in you, who are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman. Because the three modes of material nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas, are under your control, everything takes place automatically. Purpose. As stated in the Vedas, natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate, natat sasmad sabhyadikas cha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividaiva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana bhalakriyacha. The Supreme Lord has nothing to do, and no one is found to be equal or to or greater than him, for everything is done naturally and systematically by his multifarious energies. Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.8. Creation, maintenance, and annihilation are all conducted personally by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhyakshena Prakritir Suyate Sacharacharam. Yet ultimately the Lord does not need to do anything, and therefore he is Nirvikara, changeless, because everything is done under his direction. He is called Srishti Karta, the master of creation. Similarly, he is the master of annihilation. While master sits in one place while his servants work in different duties, whatever the servants are doing is ultimately an activity of the master. Although he is doing nothing, natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The Lord's potencies are so numerous that everything is nicely done. Therefore, he is naturally still and is not directly the doer of anything in this material world. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So it is now further what is happening. So much is happening around us, and it is it is done under by the energies of the Lord, right? And it is not that the Lord does any of it directly, and as a result, he's also not anyway affected by it, and it is everything is under his control and done very very systematically, automatically. This is what we have to understand, and Srila Prabhupada says that when something is done by someone under a particular person or entity, it has to be understood that it is done by that person. Say, for example, there is government, and then whatever activities are done by the government, it is generally under the leadership of so and so. It is done, but the so and so who is the maybe the position holder, right? May not be actually doing it directly. Similarly, here everything happened. The source of everything is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything is done is under His control, and His energies are doing everything seamlessly. Everything looks very done automatically and very systematically, but He is not directly doing any of it. So there is it is done by His various energies, right? So in the earlier verse also we discussed there are different energies of the Lord, and these energies are actually doing this, right? And as a result, there is nothing affecting Him, or there is no change absolutely in the Supreme Lord Himself, though He is the one who is the cause of all this. He's the cause of everything, cause of everything. In spite of that, it is actually not directly done by Him, right? Okay, we'll move on to the next verse. Can someone read the 20th verse, translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I read?
Please, Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Translation and purport, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. My Lord, your form is transcendental to the three material modes. Yet for the maintenance of the three modes, you assume the white color of Vishnu in goodness for creation, which is surrounded by the quality of passion. You appear reddish, and at the end, when there is a need for annihilation, which is surrounded by ignorance, you appear blackish. Purport. Vasudeva prayed to the Lord. You are called Suklam. Suklam or whiteness is a symbolic representation of the absolute truth because it is unaffected by the material qualities. Lord Brahma is called Rakta or red because Brahma represents the qualities of passion for creation. Darkness is entrusted to Lord Shiva because he annihilates the cosmos. The creation, annihilation, and maintenance of this cosmic manifestation are conducted by your potencies, yet you are always unaffected by those qualities. As confirmed in the Vedas, Harerhe Nirguna Sakshat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always free from all material qualities. It is also said that the qualities of passion and ignorance are non-existent in the person of the Supreme Lord. In this verse, the three colors mentioned, Sukla, Rakta, and Krishna, are not to be understood literally in terms of what we experience with our senses, but rather as representatives of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. After all, sometimes we see that a duck is white, although it's in Tamoguna, the mode of ignorance, illustrating the logic called Vakanda Nyaya. The duck is such a fool that it runs after the testicles of the bull, thinking them to be a hanging fish that can be taken when it drops. Thus the duck is always in darkness. Vyasadeva, however, the compiler of the Vedic literature, is blackish. But this doesn't mean that he is in Tamaguna. Rather, he is in the highest position of Sattva-guna, beyond the material modes of nature. Sometimes these colors, Sukla, Rakta, Tata, Pita, are used to designate the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. Lord Kshirodaksha Vishnu is celebrated as possessing a blackish color. Lord Shiva is whitish and Lord Brahma is reddish. But according to Srila Sanatana Goswami, in the Vaishnava Tosani Tika, this exhibition of colors is not what is referred to here. The real understanding of Sukla, Rakta, and Krishna is as follows. The Lord is always transcendental, but for the sake of creation, he assumes the color Rakta as Lord Brahma. Again, sometimes the Lord becomes angry, as he says in Bhagavad Gita 16.19. Tanaham dvijasta kruram samsareshu nardaman chipshami ajastram ashubham asurveshveva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. To destroy the demons, the Lord becomes angry, and therefore he assumes the form of Lord Shiva. In summary, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always beyond the material qualities, and we shouldn't be misled into thinking otherwise simply because of sense perception. One must understand the position of the Lord through the authorities, or Mahajanas, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. Ete jansa kala Hamsa Krishna to Bhagwan Swayam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So further, this is an way to explain the Supreme Lord, because as I mentioned a while ago, it's very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord with our senses. Right? We cannot perceive with our senses. So one of the senses is eyes, and what eyes perceive are the colors. Right? So here Vasudeva is calling the Lord as Shuklam, as whiteness, to represent the mode of goodness. So there are colors which represent the mode of goodness, but it cannot be taken then as a general kind of understanding. That is what Srila Prabhupada explains to the puppet. In the mode of goodness, Lord Vishnu takes the form of Shuklam, white, and when it is creation, then it has to be red in color, because that involves a lot of passion. So for the activities that are involved in creation, it needs the mode of passion, and that is generally associated with red color. And the black then comes to ignorance, and that is what happens, that is associated with annihilation, tamoguna, right? So these are general color representation, and accordingly the we can say, like, the presiding deities, Lord Vishnu in the mode of goodness, so he's understood with the whiteness, and Lord Brahma in red, and Lord Shiva then in darkness, tamoguna, for the annihilation aspect. So these are some colors that are assigned, but then it should not be taken as it is. That is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, because there are some entities which are in white color, then they might be in tamoguna. Though we associate white color specifically to sattvaguna, like Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the duck. The duck is in tamoguna. He also says the duck is in tamoguna because it has false understanding. It is not able to differentiate between what is a fish and what is the testicles of a bull. And with this false understanding, it is clearly in tamoguna, and just by that kind of perception, it is actually in tamoguna, but then it is in white color. So just that being in white color does not say that it is in sattva guna. That is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to say. And then the colors are also linked to the different varnas, right? The social orders, the brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, shudras. So that is also sometimes happening. The brahmanas with the white, and then the kshatriyas with the red raktas, and then the vaishyas with the, you know, some yellow color. So different colors they're trying to represent, but that is also not whole and soul, right? And this is again mentioned by Srila Sanatan Goswami in Vaishnava Toshni Tika, right? So that those colors that were mentioned are very different from what are mentioned here. So we should not take the colors literally. So that is what we have to understand, right? And the Lord's, in the previous verse, we understood the Lord's energies are at work, and these energies, depending on the purpose, they take different forms, right? And it is like when the Lord has to kill the demons, he becomes angry and he may take the form of Lord Shiva, right? But all that is happening, all this material creation is there, all entire universes are running, from right from the creation to maintenance to annihilation, everything is happening. Um, but in spite of all this, what we have to understand, or the bottom line, is that the Supreme Lord is not affected by any of the material modes of nature. All this does not affect him at all. And this is understanding which is coming through the scriptures, it is coming through authorities like Acharyas and the Mahajans. Right? So this is the understanding that is coming through them. Okay. Text 21. Can someone read the translation and purport? Can someone please read the translation and purport?
Mataji, if nobody reads, shall I read?
Please, Mataji, thank you.
Yeah, translation. O my Lord, proprietor of all creation, you have now appeared in my house, desiring to protect this world. I am sure that you will kill all the armies that are moving all over the world under the leadership of politicians who are dressed as Kshatriya rulers, but who are factually demons. They must be killed by you for the protection of the innocent public. Purport. Krishna appears in this world for two purposes. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam, to protect the innocent religious devotees of the Lord, and to annihilate all the uneducated, uncultured asuras who unnecessarily bark like dogs and fight among themselves for political power. It is said that Kalikale Nama Rupa Krishna Avtara. The Hare Krishna movement is also an incarnation of Krishna in the form of the holy name Nama Rupe. Everyone of us who is actually afraid of the Asuric rulers and politicians must welcome this incarnation of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then we will surely be protected from the harassment of Asuric rulers. At the present moment, these rulers are so powerful that by hook or by crook, they capture the highest post in government and harass countless numbers of people on the plea of national security or some emergency. Then again, one Asura defeats another Asura. But the public continues to suffer. Therefore, the entire world is in precarious condition. And the only hope is this Hare Krishna movement. Lord Nrsimhadeva appeared when Prahlada was excessively harassed by his Asuric father. Because of such Asuric fathers, that is, the ruling politicians, it is very difficult to press forward the Hare Krishna movement. But because Krishna has now appeared in his holy name through this movement, we can hope that these Asuric fathers will be annihilated and the kingdom of God established all over the world. The entire world is now full of many asuras in the guise of politicians, gurus, sadhus, yogis, and incarnations. and they are misleading the general public away from Krishna consciousness, which can offer true benefit to human society. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So Vasudev is telling that what is why the Supreme Lord has appeared, right? So lot of times, so this is very common that that some people they just claim to be God, right? So this is a very common practice that some people just claim to be God and then their followers they follow. So Parashar Muni says that there's six opulences which actually define who is God, who is Bhagavan, the possessor of opulence, possessor of Bhaga, opulence, right? So and for the Lord to actually appear, right? The Lord is so much. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll be discussing the entire section how the Lord is beyond everything, and for him to appear in this material world, there is definitely there should be a strong reason or purpose to it, right? So that is why the Lord appears, and for anyone who just says, who claims that I am God, one, they should be the possessor of the six opulences if one is truly God, and also there should be a valid reason or a purpose for their appearance. Here, Vasudev is actually establishing that or saying what is the reason for the appearance of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said very well mentioned that the Lord comes for the devotees, for sadhus, and actually for annihilating or destroying the evil. So this is very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. It is reinforced here, whether the Lord is appeared in the house of Vasudev in his dynasty to protect this world. This is a particular period of the period in time wherein a lot of demons have taken the form of rulers, and who is a ruler, he should actually have those kind of qualities which are, and he should be working towards the welfare of the citizens and people and living beings, right? But these demons are in the garb of these rulers, and they're actually troubling all the innocent people, and the Lord uh, has to come, has to take has to appear, and he has to actually protect this innocent public. So this is the purpose for which the Supreme Lord appears as Krishna, and that is what is mentioned in this verse, where Vasudev is saying that you are here to kill all those people who are actually troubling innocent public, and that is why you are here, my lord. This is the reason for your appearance, and I know this will happen, that all those demonic rulers will be killed, and you will actually protect the innocent public, right? And this is Srila Prabhupada is saying that is how the Lord appeared in that period, in those kind of situations. In the current scenario in Kali Yuga, the Lord has appeared as his holy name, right? And his holy name is non-different from the Supreme Lord. There is no difference between the Supreme Lord and the holy name. So for a lot of times, people say that God does not exist, or we have not seen God. Uh, God, God does exist, and God is present in His holy name. It is very difficult again to kind of have that perception, because we think that existence of a person is in physical form, right? So flesh, blood, with features. So this is the form of existence or appearance of person that this senses make us to kind of believe. This is from the sense perception. But beyond that, if we understand that for the Supreme Lord, there is no difference from between him and his holy name, right? There is no difference. Absolutely, they're one and the same. Then all of us are actually seeing the Lord, or perceiving the Lord every time we take to our japa, every time we are actually saying the holy names, every time we are actually we are perceiving the Supreme Lord, and because there is no difference absolutely between the Lord and His names. Then this material eyes might not be good enough to kind of literally see or kind of visualize it that way. But for anyone who understands that there is no difference between the Lord and His holy names, then we are actually perceiving the Lord. We are perceiving the Lord every time we are taking to His name. Uh, so that is how the Lord is non-different from His name in this age. And then in this age also, Srila Prabhupada says it is likely that one is surrounded by asuric people, politicians and people with lot of power and influence. It is sad that people lot of times think that strength or fame is associated with power and control, or greatness, or we should put it like this: greatness is associated with power and control. It is a very wrong notion that is there in this present day world, that people think that if they are powerful, if they are able to control, they are great. It's very very wrong. It's absolutely wrong to think that, but that is how the present world is. And then lot of people with wrong intention, wrong understanding, very similar to the asuras or demons, actually try to kind of take these positions of power and control, like try to become politicians, administrators, for the sake of that greatness, right? To be great. And this is, and then the public, the innocent people, or the people who have more pure intentions, maybe are in constantly troubled by these people. So Srila Prabhupada says we can take refuge of the holy name, we can take shelter of the holy name, to actually withstand these forces, withstand these kind of disturbances which come from these asuras, who have taken various positions of power. They are, you can see them in the guise of politicians, sometimes in the guise of fake gurus, fake teachers, right? Sadhus, yogis, and some also claiming that they are God in themselves, they are incarnations of God. So all these people are like asuras, and we can protect from all of them by taking to the holy name, by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we are under the shelter of the holy name. And as we take the shelter of the holy name, we can actually protect uh, ourselves, and we can actually be more stronger to deal with these kind of situations and people that we are surrounded with demonic nature, right? Okay, we move on to the verse, 22nd verse. Yeah. Can someone read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I will read.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Then pranam.
Translations and purport by Sri Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Translation. O my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill him, this uncivilized Kamsa killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have appeared, he will immediately come with weapons to kill you. Purport. Kamsa has here been described as Asabhya, meaning uncivilized or most heinous, because he killed many of his children of his sister. When he heard the prophecy that he would be killed by her eighth son, this uncivilized man, Kamsa, was immediately ready to kill his innocent sister on the occasion of her marriage. An uncivilized man can do anything for the satisfaction of his senses. He can kill children, he can kill cows, he can kill brahmanas, he can kill old men, and he has no mercy for anyone. According to the Vedic civilization, cows, women, children, old men, and brahmanas should be excused if they are at fault. But asuras, uncivilized men, do not care about that. At the present moment, the killing of cows and the killing of children is going on unrestrictedly, and therefore, this civilization is not at all human, and those who are conducting this condemned civilization are uncivilized asuras. Such uncivilized men are not in favor of Krishna conscious movement. As a public officer, they declare without hesitation that chanting of Hare Krishna movement is a nuisance. All the Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dhranavrata. According to this verse, it is the duty of Mahatma to chant the Hare Krishna mantra and try to spread it all over the world to the best of their ability. Unfortunately, society is in such an uncivilized state that there are so-called Mahatmas who are prepared to kill cows and children and stop the Hare Krishna movement. Such uncivilized activities are actually demonstrated in opposition to the Hare Krishna movement's Bombay Center Hare Krishna land. As Kamsa was not expected to kill the beautiful child of Devaki and Vasudev, the uncivilized society, although unhappy about the advancement of the Krishna conscious movement, cannot be expected to stop it. Yet, we must face many difficulties in many different ways. Although Krishna cannot be killed, Vasudev, as the father of Krishna, was trembling because in affection, he thought of Kamsa would immediately come and kill his son. Similarly, although Krishna conscious movement and Krishna are not different and no Asura can check it, we are afraid that any moment the Asuras can stop this movement in any part of the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's very interesting that how Srila Prabhupada is kind of explained the current scenario when it comes to the Krishna consciousness movement. And Vasudev is all the while he is glorifying the Supreme Lord. He's kind of telling things about the Supreme Lord which are not possible to understand, perceive from the senses. It's so very maybe very high end, like maybe philosophy or high end understanding, right? So about the Supreme Lord, in a moment, this he is actually overcome by his parental affection for the Supreme Lord, right? So Vasudev and Devaki, this is their third kind of birth, or their third kind of form, wherein they have taken as the parents of the Supreme Lord. They had done a lot of austerity to be the parents of the Supreme Lord. They kind of appear as Prishni and Sutapa, and the Lord appears as Prishni Garbha, and then they appear as Aditi and Kashyapa, and the Lord appears as Vamana, and this is the kind of the third form that they appear as Vasudeva and Devaki, and they get the Supreme Lord as child. In that kind of scenario, the Lord Vasudeva is actually overwhelmed with his parental affection, and he mentions, now he's telling the Supreme Lord that how Kamsa is, right? So he's very uncivilized. He's not going by any moral code or conduct, and he has just killed the sons of his sister. The moral code says that even when you're at a fault, when a brahmana, an old man, children, women, cows are at fault, right? Even when at their fault, they should not be killed, right? They should not be killed, and this is what the moral code says. And then and just because he hears a prophecy that the eighth son of his sister will be the cause of his death or will kill him, he actually goes to that extreme of killing his sister, which is not in any measure for someone civilized to do, right? So it's like, not, if someone says that someone is being caused for someone's death, how do you kind of respond? For a civilized person, still you have to go by the moral or the rule book, right? So um so it is like but that is not to be seen at all in Kamsa. And also he had not only he tried to kill his sister, he kills the other, he kills his her sons who were, though it was said in the prophecy that the eighth son will be, the person who will be responsible for the end of Kamsa. He didn't follow any kind of he did not show any kind of mercy, and he kept killing the other sons of Devaki also, who are the elder brothers of the Supreme Lord, as he appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva here. And Srila Prabhupada says this is very sad that we live among such demonic, asuric people, and civilization is such that where there is constant killing of people and constant killing of children and cows we see in plain day, in plain sight, everywhere around us. That is, it's a very common sight, we understand. Even the killing of children is happening. Recently there has been a very great scandal where it was exposed that how in small children would kind of killed and how they were abused. And lot of people who, the so-called influential people with lot of power, the politicians, lot of people who the world looks up to as example, for an example, these are the people who were involved in this, in the cruelty that was meted for children. So these people are no less than demons. These people are surely no less than demons. And these are the people who are trying to control. And when such people are at the helm and they are actually kind of taking the decisions, it is likely that whatever is rightful, like the worship of the Supreme Lord, like the Krishna conscious movement that Srila Prabhupada started as ISKCON, these kind of activities which are intended to glorify the Lord, bring lost living entities to closer to the Supreme Lord. These kind of activities will be met with resistance. These kind of activities will be met with resistance, and resistance, that is also very common. We see that these days that people oppose going closer to Krishna, telling about Krishna, understanding about God as something which is not secular, right? So it is very strange that how it has become non-secular to be actually kind of speaking about what is the goal of a living entity, what is the purpose of a living entity. And when one speaks about it, what is mentioned as Sanatan Dharma, when one speaks of it, it is perceived as non-secular. And this is what is actually truly where you can see a demonstration of the Asuric behavior. And all those who are born in maybe Hinduism and think associate with themselves as Hindus, yet they see speaking about God, uh, taking people closer to God as non-secular, surely are misled and misguided. And this is clearly a demonic mentality, which is not to be anyway supported, right? And Srila Prabhupada says this: there will be opposition, like the opposition that Prabhupada and his glorious disciples have experienced when the Juhu temple was built. So there was the kind of opposition that they met, again from Hindus, from people who have to understand, who lack the knowledge or understanding that uh, this is what is needed in this age, wherein people have to sing the glories of the Lord. They have to be there has to be sankirtan, there has to be worship of the Supreme Lord. People have to come together in temples temples have to be built, have to be maintained throughout, so that this congregational kirtan, sankirtan actually goes on. Verse 23. Can somebody read the translation in purport?
I'll continue, Mataji.
Please, Mataji, thank you.
Translation. Shukdev Goswami continued, thereafter, having seen that her child had all the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Devaki, who was very much afraid of Kamsa and unusually astonished, began to offer prayers to the Lord. Purport. The word Suvismita meaning astonished is significant in this verse. Devaki and her husband Vasudev were assured that their child was Supreme Personality of Godhead and could not be killed by Kamsa. But because of the affection as they thought of Kamsa's previous atrocities, they were simultaneously afraid that Krishna would be killed. This is why the word Suvismita has been used. Similarly, we are also astounded upon thinking of whether this movement will be killed by Asuras or will continue to advance without fear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now, so far, Vasudev is both of them. They have seen the Lord, right, in his wonderful Chaturbuja form with all that wonderful ornaments that he came with. So there was prophecy. They have understood he is the Supreme Lord. They have, like, Vasudev has glorified the Supreme Lord. He actually says how the Supreme Lord is. All that has happened now. Towards the end, we see Vasudev succumbing to that fear. Though he knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he cannot be killed, but he's succumbing to that. And now it is the turn of Mother Devaki. So Mother Devaki now is like astonished. She's afraid, and it's like. It's total concern, the motherly concern actually coming in, we can see. And it's this kind of uh, parental affection, the vatsalya rasa that is Mother Devaki continues to actually show. And there is this fear constantly. Srila Prabhupada, like in the previous purport, says that though this Krishna conscious movement or about cannot be ended, right? But there is fear of demons. There is fear of people who try to stop it. Similarly, though Krishna cannot be killed, there is always this fear that Kamsa can kill him or can harm him, because of the history that, or the track record that Kamsa holds of being immoral, and he had done a lot of atrocities. So it's like somewhere that is kind of causing this affection, or Devaki is now overwhelmed, and she is now saying to the Supreme Lord. This section we will hear what Mother Devaki has to say. Can someone read the translation in purport?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dalat Pranam.
Danvat Pranam, Mataji.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Sri Devaki said, "My dear Lord, there are different Vedas, some of which describe you as unperceivable through words and the mind. Yet you are the origin of the entire cosmic manifestation. You are Brahman, the greatest of everything, full of effulgence like the sun. You have no material cause, you are free from change and deviation, and you have no material desires. Thus the Vedas say that you are the substance. Therefore, my Lord, you are directly the origin of all Vedic statements, and by understanding you, one gradually understands everything. You are different from the light of Brahman and Paramatma, yet you are not different from them. Everything emanates from you. Indeed, you are the cause of all causes, Lord Vishnu, the light of all transcendental knowledge. Purport. Vishnu is the origin of everything, and there is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, because both of them are Vishnu Tattva. From the Rig Veda, we understand Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. The original substance is the all-pervading Lord Vishnu, who is also Paramatma and the effulgent Brahman. The living entities are also part and parcel of Vishnu, who has various energies. Parasya Saktir Vividhaiva Sruyate Swabhavit Gnana Bala Kriyacha. Vishnu or Krishna is therefore everything. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarvam Pravattate. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. Krishna, therefore, is the original cause of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam. When Vishnu expands in his all pervading aspect, we should understand him to be the Nirakara Nirvisesha Brahma Jyoti. Although everything emanates from Krishna, he is ultimately a person. Aham Adirhi Devanam. He is the origin of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheswara, and from them many other demigods are manifested. Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 14.27, Brahmano hi pratistaham. Brahman rests upon me. The Lord also says, Yepi anya devata bhakta yajanti Shraddhayan Vita Tepi Mam Eva Kaunteya Yajanti Avidhi Parvakam. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. There are many persons who worship different demigods, considering all of them to be separate gods, which in fact they are not. The fact is that every demigod and every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutaha. The demigods are also in the category of living entities. They are not separate gods, but men whose knowledge is immature and contaminated by the modes of material nature worship various demigods according to their intelligence. Therefore, they are rebuked in Bhagavad Gita, Kamaisthair Thair Hrutagnanaha Prapadyante Nya Devataha. Because they are unintelligent and not very advanced and have not properly considered the truth, they take to the worship of various demigods or speculate according to various philosophies, such as Mayavada philosophy. Krishna, Vishnu, is the actual origin of everything. As stated in Vedas, Yasya Bhasha Sarvam Idam Vibhati. The absolute truth is described later in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.28.15 as Satyam Gnanam Anantam Yad Brahma Jyoti Sanatanam. The Brahma Jyoti is Sanatana, eternal, yet it is dependent on Krishna, Brahmano hi pratistaham. The Brahma Samhita states that the Lord is all pervading. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. He is within the universe and he is within the atom as Paramatma. Yasya Prabhavato Jagat Anda Kotisva Sesa Vadudhadi Vibhuti Bhinnam. Brahman is also not independent of him. Therefore, whatever a philosopher may describe is ultimately Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Sarvam Kal Idam Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paraman Bhavan. According to different phases of understanding, Lord Vishnu is differently described, but in fact, he is the origin of everything. Because Devaki was an unalloyed devotee, she could understand that the same Lord Vishnu had appeared as her son. Therefore, after the prayers of Vasudeva, Devaki offered her prayers. She was very frightened because of her brother's atrocities. Devaki said, My dear Lord, your eternal forms like Narayana, Lord Rama, Sesha, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Baladeva, and millions of similar incarnations emanating from Vishnu are described in the Vedic literature as original. You are original because all your forms as incarnations are outside of this material creation. Your form was existing before this cosmic manifestation was created. Your forms are eternal and all pervading. They are self effulgent, changeless, and uncontaminated by the material qualities. Such eternal forms are ever cognizant and full of bliss. They are situated in transcendental goodness and are always engaged in different pastimes. You are not limited to a particular form only. All such transcendental eternal forms are self sufficient. I can understand that you are the Supreme Lord Vishnu. We may conclude, therefore, that Lord Vishnu is everything, although he is also different from everything. This is the Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva philosophy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So now it is now Mother Devaki is speaking. She is actually telling. About the Supreme Lord, right? So very similar to what we heard Vasudev say, um, as to how the Supreme Lord is cause of everything. He is not affected by any of the material energy. He's the greatest of everything, and everything comes from him. And it's like the Supreme Lord is it's just like what all we had heard earlier, right? So everything similar to that is actually Mother Devaki also is saying that that even the demigods and everyone else actually comes from the Supreme Lord. They're part and parcels, and because Krishna or Vishnu is the origin of everything, and it is also for those who kind of worship, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, for those who worship other demigods, other forms, they are actually worshipping the Supreme Lord Himself, but the understanding is different, right? So if I am actually paying the tax in the income tax department, and I am thinking that I am paying it to the income tax department, it is a wrong understanding. Ultimately, the tax is taken to the government, and the government is actually then spending